Chapter 3. The Skeletal System. Audio Script 4. Part 1. Good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. Fran Warner, and I'm based at the Accident and Emergency Department here at City Hospital. Today, I'd like to talk to you about bone fractures. In the A&E department, we deal with several types of fracture, from quite simple ones to ones of a more complex nature. We use the term fracture to describe a break in a bone, usually across its width. There are two main types, closed or open fractures. In a closed fracture, the broken bone ends remain beneath the skin and little surrounding tissue is damaged. In an open fracture, however, one or both bone ends project through the skin. If the bone ends are not aligned, the fracture is termed displaced. X-rays can confirm a fracture. Because bone begins to heal soon after it has broken, the first aim of treatment is to ensure that the bone ends are aligned. The displaced bone ends are put back into place under general anaesthetic by manipulation, either through the skin or through an incision. The bone is then immobilised. In some cases, the ends of the bone may be fixed with metal pins or plates. Most fractures tend to heal without major problems. However, there may be complications and healing may be delayed because the blood supply to the bone has been affected by damaged blood vessels or because the bone ends are not close enough together. Part 2. Now I'd like to talk about the terms used to describe different types of fracture. Firstly, many fractures aren't very obvious and no clear displacement is visible. Fractures like this are known as hairline fractures and they're very common. Next, a simple fracture means that there's a single fracture of the bone with only two main fragments. More complicated than this is an avulsion fracture, which means that a piece of bone is pulled off with a ligament or muscle. Let's turn now to some other types of bone fractures. A fracture which is seen in long bones as a result of twisting injuries is known as a spiral fracture, whereas a comminuted fracture is a complex fracture resulting in more than two bone fragments. Where the volume of bone is reduced because it's been compressed, it's called a crush fracture. Stress fractures occur when certain types of bone are likely to break from repeated minor injuries. And finally, where the ends of a bone are driven into each other, it's known as an impacted fracture.